Welcome back. Today I want to talk about stories. And the reason that I wanted to talk about stories today is, have you heard that phrase that facts tell and stories sell? Facts, F-A-C-T-S, facts tell, T-E-L-L, yet stories sell, S-E-L-L. Now why is this? Because we relate to each other as human beings. And don't we love stories? Even as a little kid, you're reading the fairy tales of Snow White and Winnie the Pooh, all these fairy tale stories, and we love to hear stories. And each one of us, isn't it true that we each have our own story, something that's unique to you? It doesn't have to be a rags to riches. It could be just an average lifestyle. I mean, if you can relate to someone with your story, that will make it so much easier to build a business relationship with them, to build that level of trust with that person. So what can a story be? Let's take my story, for example, is that I was in corporate America for 25 years, basically, working a decent paying job. And the more I started to earn and the higher in the organization I got, the more hours I seemed to get and the more workload I had on my plate all the time, because that's the sort of person I was, would take on more work and more responsibility, but I was well compensated for it. But then an interesting thing happened, is that my work-life balance got pretty much out of balance. I would come home from work and I'd be on phone calls or doing emails, maybe staying up late at night and checking emails first thing in the morning before going into the office. It's crazy. And I wasn't the only one doing this. You could probably look at half of the people with who I worked and they did exactly the same thing. 40 hours a week, that's a pipe dream. Come on, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Well, you had a choice, right? You could stop working all those hours and then you'd have to find another position. But the point here is that my story was basically, I was working so many hours and I never really felt satisfied with the work I was doing, because there was all this work coming in that I could never really get to. But I did enjoy the challenge, but there was all this stress level, if you will, the weight of all the work and the work-life balance that I didn't care for. Now, I know I'm not unique in that respect, and probably neither are you, yes? So use that when you talk to people, when you start to build relationships. That I love my job, the money was great, but I never saw my kids, or I was always tired, I missed the school plays, and I wanted to find a way out, yet still maintaining my lifestyle. And that's pretty much typical of middle America, isn't it? You go to work, you make a good income, and then you spend it, and then you go back to work to make more money, and it's a vicious cycle, isn't it? A vicious cycle. And that's why a lot of people, myself and perhaps you are included, you want to be able to break out of that cycle of going to work to make money to live, to go back to work to make money to live. You want to be able to break out of that rat trap, as Robert Kiyosaki talks about it, or the rat race, really. You want to break out of the rat race, because you want to be able to do more things with your life than just go to work for 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week, yes? And that's the story that you tell people, that you relate to people that you come into contact with. Because once people relate to you, the selling process is so easy. And that's what I would love for you to develop, is develop your story of why you're doing what you're doing. Is it because your job sucks? Is it because you love your job but there's just so many hours? Or what? What is your story? Develop the story, hone it, make it authentic. It has to be really authentic. If you make a fake story up, people will see straight through that and they'll never do business with you. But from the heart, make it authentic, make it true, make it about you. And it doesn't have to be this glamorous, really far-fetched thing, rags to riches. Just make it average. It won't be boring, it will be average, because you'll be sharing your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions with your potential prospect or client. I hope this has been valuable. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.